Hey, what's up everybody? It's another week and here we are with the SR Synth Weekly. Hey, I've got some good ones today and a whole lot of last week I did a little mix of everything. This week is pretty much gonna be just your standard normal synth tracks. Today we're gonna start out with a group called Valley of the Crow. Sorry, they're based out of Cardiff. So, you know, Torchwood might be there. No, anyway, the song is called Flying High, So Lonely in the Sky. It's an awesome song, and it kind of gives you that 80s feel. Let me give you the description right quick. It's flying high, so lonely in the sky, melds together our love of 80s synth, killer hooks, and occasional rave off of creating a magical whirlwind of melancholy electropop. I'm going to add a lot more to that, as I always do, because, you know, if you're wondering what I'm looking at, I have the lineup here on my iPad. But what I feel like, this is one of those getting together songs, you know, kind of a la Desperately Seeking Susan, Sure Thing kind of thing, where everybody's get together to go drive to a location, and, you know, they're all kind of doing their little happy thing. But the hero, I always say hero protagonist, is one of those, you know, they just go by, you know, everybody else is happy, but they're deep in thought. They're happy, but they're, you know, kind of in, you know, kind of a, I wouldn't say, they're just kind of in their own little world, thinking about things, and you know they're panning at them. So that's kind of what I feel about that. Also gives me that feeling as, you know, it gives you that they're all in a room together, you know, kind of having a little good time while they're talking about, you know, what's going to happen on the next scene or the climax of a scene, you know, and then it goes over that. So definitely check it out. Check the rest out, this stuff. Again, it's Valley of the Crows, and it's Flying High, So Lonely in the Sky. Thanks. like I said, it gives me that kind of like feel. I mean, it's just kind of like that 80s happy comedy romance feel. So that's what I think. Next up is Full Eclipse, and their song is called Clocktowers. I've been following them for a while since I've started this whole deal, and they've been really nice with me. The song Clocktowers, they call it a progressive track that runs through the gamut of tones and moods. Sorry, I can't read this morning. I want to give it a little bit more, and it's and they're gonna probably shoot me on this one. This song kind of reminds me of a it's a beginning or a lovers come together song. I mean, the actual it kind of gives me that at the beginning of movie where lovers come together and they're having their, you know, little fun. Also kind of gives me like a middle section of Miami Vice. And what I mean is it's the middle section of the thing where I'll use Crockett's doing his usual thing. He's on his boat, and you know, he's usually just thinking about things and not, you know, thinking of what to do next, or like a melancholic mood. You know, he's just in that, you know, deep thought. You know, you've seen him in a lot of this show. That's what I call he's remembering the bad events, you know, that's setting, and he's in his mindset setting up for revenge. That's kind of what I feel like. I mean, it kind of gives me that both. I know it's kind of like one extreme or the other, but it could be worked. It could be worked into both sides. So depending on what part of the song you use. So definitely check it out. It's Full Eclipse, and it's Clocktowers. I get that. I mean, that's the feeling I get as you know, that whole little thinking scene. It gives you things. It's either thinking or loving. It's, you know, one or the other. So definitely check out full Eclipse stuff. All of their stuff is awesome. Next up, I'm gonna screw this up. I'm gonna say it's MemeBrane. It could be MemeBrane. The way things are nowadays, it could be either. So they're out of Birmingham, UK, and this song is called Exit Strategy. Their description is, well, it's their 4th track out of their upcoming LP, Shriek. So, and that works out perfectly because this is one of the songs that I pulled up and I was listening to it, and I actually searched kind of a feel about it. This is the stalking scenes where, you know, it's a sci-fi movie where or it's a sci-fi horror movie where where you're searching for the evil in a house or the robot in a lab, and it kind of gives that. But the monster, let's just go with monster, is actually searching for you. You're actually stalking the stalker while he's actually, you know, while they're actually looking to kill you at the same time. This kind of gives you that, you know, whole maze feel that, you know, when every sci-fi, every horror movie has it. You know, where everybody's like, it becomes like a little maze in a house or in a lab or in, you know, something like that. And this song would be perfect to be, you know, while everybody's searching the rooms and everything, and then you get the monster just showing up. That's what I think. I also think of like Night of the Demons, the theme song, a little bit in there. It would fit in there at the beginning intro song. Actually, no, I'm sorry, Night of the Demons 2. If you've seen the movies, the beginning after the demon kills the homeowners, or not homeowners, but the real estate agents in it, and it goes to the title screen. That kind of sounds like that, which is kind of cool. So definitely check it out. It's MemeBrane and it's Exit Strategy. I mean, I always say I mean. I don't know why I do that, but the song's awesome. I mean, no matter how you put it, no matter how you think your opinion work, you know, you have your own opinion on it. But I mean, that's I think Stalker movie. They might think of something completely different. But I still think it's an awesome song, regardless. So, so check it out. Next up is, I hope I say this right. It's a Debby Grupp, electronic band out of Toronto. The song is called Electric Angst, and let me give you their description. It's driving, evoking anticipation with dramatic drops and surreal synths comprising the piece. As usual, you know, I'm going to put my own little spin on it, which, you know, may be totally completely off what they think. But as I have my little notes here, as always, I put this as a fighting movie title sequence. The reason I say that is it just gives it that so much, you know, going on. Sorry. It kind of gives you that little sequence events before the drop, and then, you know, it goes in there, and you got this whole great feel of it, and it just feels like a fighting movie. Or the sequence, the best way, or another way to describe it is the sequence in Running Man before, you know, where they're all in there and everybody's dancing and everything, all that, and right before they introduce, you know, Schwarzenegger to the drop zone, and that whole sequence, that song could actually be could be put into that whole sequence in there and would work. That's what I think about that. Also, kind of gives me because I was actually watching a movie, and it's where robots are being made. It kind of gives me that feel of, I just forgot, movie Runaway with Gene Simmons and Tom Selleck. There's actually a scene in there where they're working on it, and it kind of gives me that same vibe and same beat. So it would work in that kind of movie where you see a robot being worked on or being made too. So I mean, all three of those work, and this song just kind of gives itself to a little bit of, you know, everything. So definitely check it out. It's like I said, I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong. It's Debby Grupp, and the song is called Electric Angst. I mean, I don't have to say much about that. I mean, Debby, the Debby group is just, that whole song just gives me a lot of good vibes. A bunch of different movies, so check it out. Next up, I have Chris Keya. It's a synthwave group out of Rome, Italy. The song is called Purple Martini. It doesn't give me a description from the artist, but I get a lot of vibes on this one. This is one that I had to think about for a few minutes. This is one of those where it could be an intro to a dystopian sci-fi movie, you know, where everything's like in the desert, and then all of a sudden you show up into a, you know, it pans up and into a huge city. It kind of gives you that, also that same feel of the same movie feel with the dystopian, but the people escape before the climax of the movie, like a hero and whoever he saved or whatever has, you know, they've escaped a prison or a, you know, whatever they were running from right before the climax scene of a movie. Also kind of gives me that hero shows up deal, like I've said many times before. You know, it's a dystopian society where the hero shows up and, you know, all of a sudden it pans out into the city and he's just, you know, surveying the things, and then all of a sudden he just like strolls in, you know, that kind of like on beat with the song. So let me know what you think. It's an awesome song. It's really great beat going on with it. So give it a check. It's Chris Keya, and it's a Purple Martini. I don't have to really say much about that. I mean, it's gives me so much dystopian, you know, feel, but at the same time, kind of gives you that, you know, you can use it in anything, but that's where I feel is a dystopian intro movie. So check out all the rest of their stuff. All the links below. Check everybody out and follow them on their social media, which I keep in the description. Next up, we have, and I am going to screw this up, so I apologize in advance. It's Efilheim. I hope I said that right. They're based out of France, and I'm gonna even screw up the title because I can never say this right, even for the car. The song is called Scions of Extinction or Scions of Extinction. Like I said, it's in the description. I'll never pronounce it right. Their description on this is the first song of their newly released EP. It's a new wave oriented with vocoder and groovy bass. I agree with that. I'm going to give it a little bit because, you know me, I love movies. I love doing it on movie sides. Because I like putting, you know, because you can visualize it a lot easier. So this is a sci-fi club scene. You know, kind of like that heavy, you know, dystopian sci-fi clubs where everybody's, you know, everybody's grooving with the bass and everything, but then you got the, it's right before the climax of a movie where, you know, either the hero runs in and they're fighting, or, you know, the hero and the bad guy start, or the bad guy, you know, starts to win, or barges in. It gives me that feeling. It also gives me the beginning of a future tech movie, where they show the city. I don't want to say like. Well, actually, it just popped in my head. It kind of gives me that beginning of like Omicron. If you've ever played that games that David Bowie was in, kind of gives me that feel, you know, where it goes through the city and everybody's, you know, you see the whole, how everything works out from an overhead view, and then it goes through and just starts showing the people and everything. Kind of gives me that. It's kind of, also kind of gives me that same thing with Omicron, kind of gives me that anime feel. You know, where they show the, you know, dystopian anime where everything's future tech and robotics is, you know, giving with the, you know, flow of the whole city and everything, and it just kind of gives you that feel that well, that's what I think anyway. Like I said, it's a dystopian sci-fi kind of city feel. That's kind of where I'm going for. Like I said, check it out. I'm going to screw it up again. It's Efilheim, and the song is called The Scions of Extinction. Check it out. Looking for a seals of sign. This is a world falling apart. We are science of extinction, mistaken by issue. builds. If you were to put the two together, they kind of work together. So that would work as like the Bloodsport title sequence too. I know it's kind of off, but that's just kind of weird. It's just kind of weird that it kind of flowed the same, and it works. So because I put it on there and I did the same flow, and it was awesome. The last part of it that I would also think about, it's another sci-fi kind of thing. It's where the robot, it's where the robot and man kind of just start melding together, where the robot's becoming, where the man's becoming a more cyborg, and it kind of gives you that, and it's melding together, and you get him together, and all of a sudden it pans out to like a city scene, and then the title sequence pops up, and then you show the cyborg man, and he's now an android, and he's the hero. That kind of gives me that feeling too. There's a lot more feelings, but I don't want to overhash the stuff I've already said, so I wanted to go with that. So check it out. It's Fonz Tramontano. Apologies again. And it's Miami Nights 81. Let the artist know what you feel, because everybody's adaptation is different. So I have my opinions on what what the music feels like, and you'll have yours. So let us know what you think in the comments below, and as always, follow them on their social medias. Just follow them on their Twitter, Bandcamp. Just make sure you're following them and getting their music. While you're at it, get my music. No. Also, while you're at it, make sure you're following radiodarkturnal.net. The link is below. He does an awesome mix of music weekly, and it's just, you know, his stuff is a little bit more broader than mine. So definitely check his stuff out. And as always, I appreciate everybody's love and support on this. I love the fact that this is growing well, and I hope we can keep it going. I'll see everybody next week. Later.